I need to admit something. I've spent countless hours scrolling and scrolling, looking through all different types of cameras, trying to find the right camera for YouTube. Maybe you're stuck in the same space, scrolling and looking. When you're done, your footage just quite isn't where you would like it to be. It's like you've got all the great ideas, you've got the drive, you've got the dedication, the creativity, but when you look at your footage, it whispers, amateur. I know, that stings a little. And here's the twist. It might not be you that's the problem. It might be your camera. Today, I'm gonna look at the A6300. It's been around since 2016, but when you talk to creators, it's like a secret gem that a lot of people don't really know about. You'll see it recommended on countless filmmaking forums and things like that. And usually people, it's either between Canon or Nikon. So Sony is kind of like a secret whisperer. So this is like a camera that you just didn't know existed, or that it's as great and up there with those other cameras. And trust me, if you're shooting in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in the bathroom, trying to get a good makeup shot, this camera does a good job at capturing those scenes that you want with that crispness that you would like in your shots. Thousands of creators stand out there with this mirrorless camera. The only difference is they pull the trigger and they got it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this. In the next few minutes, I'm going to go over a few things that people usually don't go over about this camera. The jaw-dropping, amazing quality, the frustrating overheating issues, the autofocus that sometimes it's like it's a mind reader, how like quickly it can focus when you're trying to get that shot, how it performs in low light. The Sony Alpha 6300 shoots 4K from the sensor readout, no pixel binding. Translation, what does that mean? That means you're getting super sharp, detailed footage that makes budget cameras look like they're shooting soft. And if you don't know what soft means, that means like they're a little bit fuzzy. If you ever like rewatch videos and you wonder, why does this look blurry? That's like the softness. This camera actually shoots very sharp. This camera closes that gap. This one is gonna make your YouTube channel look like you're shooting on a more professional level. Now it's time for the real confession. The autofocus on this thing is ridiculous. With 425 detection points, chef's kiss. It grabs your face, it doesn't let it go. It's great for picking up faces in shots. I really like that when I'm trying to get a group shot. It focuses on everybody. Everybody is sharp. It's amazing. And then if you're a solo creator like me, no more setting up the computer or setting up your camera and then you go and record and you find out I'm not even focused on and I've got to reshoot everything. It's great because it picks up your face, it'll track it, and you don't have to worry about am I focused or not. This camera does the trick. It's almost like this camera respects your time. Now we're going to talk about low light performance. I know personally I shoot in a lot of restaurants, so low light makes a difference because you want that moody atmosphere. And that's one thing I hate if I go and use other cameras. When I go and shoot, my pictures come out like on the camera when I'm looking on the screen, it looks sharp, but then it's grainy when I'm looking. So that can be frustrating. So keep that in mind. This does great in low light. So with shooting with this, you don't have to bump it up as high of an ISO. So that's great. So that means you're not gonna have grainy shots. So this works great in low light. If you're like shooting in your you wanna shoot yourself sneaking in your kitchen, eating a late night snack, this is going to be a great camera for those low light settings. Or if you just wanna shoot the fireworks on the 4th of July. There are some downsides to this camera. One major downside is this camera overheats if you push it hard. I did have an issue. I was shooting outside. It was like outside wedding. I usually have multiple cameras as backup. The camera did overheat and I had to turn it off and let it cool off for a bit. So that is a downside. This camera will overheat if you are pushing it really hard. Shooting long clips in 4K will also push it a little too hard. Another downfall is there's no flip screen. So this is about as far out as the screen goes. So if you're trying to record yourself, you can't see yourself. So that is one of the downfalls. There's no flip screen. They're not really deal breakers, but they're just things that if you're gonna be spending money on a camera, I like to know the things that people are unhappy about. So it could overheat. if you're like pushing it really hard, especially if you're filming in the heat. Now that day that we were filming, it was like 104 degrees outside. So keep that in mind. We got a good 30 minutes before it overheated. If you're shooting long in 4K, so if you're doing long interviews and you want to shoot it in 4K, usually I'm not shooting in 4K, I just shoot in HD and it works fine. But if you do want to shoot long interviews in 4K, that might hurt you. And then there's no flip screen. So those are my negatives with this camera. But other than that, for the price, this is a really good camera. So is the Sony Alpha 6300 worth it? Yes. It is worth it if you want a cinematic look, you want sharp footage, or if you're going to be shooting in a lot of low light, then this is going to be a really good camera. It's mirrorless camera. You can also change out the lenses, so that's nice. So you can get different lenses with it, and it doesn't break the bank. It's about, you can get it for about like $1,000 to $900. So it's not like a high-end camera, but it has a lot of the punch that the high-end cameras have. I will drop a link below if you're interested in getting this camera. Just go below, click on the link. I also have other things, other gear that I like to use, like this light that's lighting me. Just different things that you may be looking for to help stop your endless scrolling and help narrow down the equipment that you may be ready to purchase. And hey, don't just scroll past this, because the longer you scroll, the longer you take to make a decision, which means the longer it takes for you to get your content looking how you want it to look. Subscribe if you want more confession style reviews where I'm giving my honest opinion. I give the pros and the cons of different types of things, from food to camera gear to kitchen gear. You name it, I got it. And then drop in the camera if are you a Sony person? Are you a Canon? Are you a Nikon person? What kind of camera do you use? I'm usually a Canon girl, because that's what I started with, Canon girly. But this Sony is like coming in for close second as like one of my backup cameras or one of my extra cameras that I like to use. So let me know, what kind of camera do you like to use?